I knew my answer straight away, and yet I had to wrestle with my intellectual brain.
Hello and welcome to the Philosophy podcast. I'm your host, Fiona Finley, the professional chatterbox, business mentor, nervous system nerve nerd, and forever student of what it means to find true freedom in life. This podcast isn't here to give you all the answers. It's here to remind you that you already have them. Philosophy is my flavour of wisdom, and I'm here to share my story just so that you know that you're not doing this alone. My hope is that by sharing my experiences, you'll find something in common, something that lands, and something that actually helps you deeply connect with your own truth. With everything that I offer, I invite you to take what you need and leave what you don't, and let whatever resonate land in your body of wisdom. This space is for exploration, transformation, and discovering what true freedom really feels like and looks like for you. So let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Philosophy podcast. As always, take what you need and leave what you don't. This is about adding your flavour to any wisdom that lands for you. Today, I'm going to share a real life moment that had me reflecting so much about the difference between helping someone and betraying myself. So boundaries versus bypassing. And before we dive in, this is just a gentle note to let you know that some of the story references are involving domestic violence. I won't be going into the details about that, but I just know that this can be quite a sensitive topic. So please listen in a way that feels safe and supportive for you. So we all have moments, don't we, that we are called to help somebody, and our compassionate nature and our truest nature is to be kind and compassionate. And the thing that I've found just recently is that you can be kind and keep your boundaries. So you can be kind and maintain your personal values. And that looks differently in different situations and in the moment. When I get called to do something, especially in the moment, I will be feeling my way. And sometimes I betray myself, and sometimes I will use it as a bypassing tool to not feel that self-responsibility. Anyway, what had happened is an associate contacted me and she's asked to take refuge with me, and she's in this domestic violence situation and she's needing some support. My initial gut reaction, and it was really quick, was absolutely not. And then a millisecond later, I could see my brain coming into it going, oh, she needs some support. What if that was me in that situation? I would love some grace and support. And especially when you're feeling so vulnerable. And then as the conversation went on, I didn't commit to anything and I let her speak. And I knew I needed to take a breather, because anyone that's so activated and is in an acute state of trauma, like it's actually happening, they're reaching for survival. So I was her lifeline and I needed to take a breather just so that I could collect myself and then move forward in the way that I would be honouring my values and me. To do that, I had to take a breath. My intuition was very, very quick. It was absolutely not. And then my brain overrode that very quickly as well and said, well, actually, this is your opportunity to be compassionate and to be kind and to offer a lifeline. My initial reaction was absolutely not. And the thing that I really want to discuss today is how in that moment I felt it, but then my intellectual brain wanted to try and override it. And that overriding is the reason why I'm talking about this, because what I noticed, and I hope this brings some type of aha moments for yourself. My immediate silent and quiet response was absolutely not. I didn't get a chance to sit in that for very long, because then my brain started to intellectualize it. And right then I knew I was in conflict and I needed to have some space to be able to process it. And to do that, I needed time and space.
Let's just take a moment to chill. Parenting is tricky, running a business is activating, and consciously choosing to grow, let's just say it can be rough and tough and messy. If you're doing any of these things, or if you're doing all of them at once, your plate is full, your brain is overloaded, your tabs are open, and bandwidth feels like a distant memory of the past. I just want you to know that it's totally healthy to feel like this and that there's another way. A way to feel more calm, confident, and connected. Yep, and let's just throw in a little contentment too. And it all starts with your nervous system. Let's get you out of the overwhelm and into a space where life actually feels chill. This is why I created the Chill Out program, a self-paced course where you get to learn all about your nervous system, how it works, how to map your patterns, and how to regulate using real-life tools and suggestions that fit you and your world. We explore polyvagal theory, nervous system mapping, and build your personal toolkit, just so that you can come back to center again and again. Because this is how you find your calm amongst the chaos. Not by doing more, not by adding to it, but by feeling safe enough just to be. The link's in the show notes. Go check it out. Your nervous system will thank you. And now let's get back to it.
So hearing her story, and when I hung up, I had to get some space so I could think. I needed time, and I didn't want to commit to an answer because I felt this conflict. It's funny because I've always had that initial gut reaction, but I've always, well, not always, hear that? That's my programming coming through. What I tend to have done in the past would be go to my intellectual side, because my intellectual brain never lets me down. And let me tell you, during perimenopause, that is not the case now. So it's a blessing in disguise. The fact that I had this intuitive gut reaction of absolutely not, and then watched my brain trying to intellectualize it while she was still talking, I knew I needed to take space. So calling it and asking, I'll call you back, and giving me time to marinate in the situation that presented itself to me, I was able to decompress from it. And what I'd noticed is that my wanting to help her had so many facets to it. And for me to say yes to it was because my activation from her activation was very uncomfortable, and I wanted it to go away. I wanted to help her because what if I'm in that situation? And straight away, when you start drawing a parallel to that, I think that's a scarcity mindset, and that's out of fear. So I'm making a decision out of fear that I will be in that situation and needing help and grace. My other thought was, this is going to sound really bad. It's a networking opportunity. This narcissistic side of me that sees business as an opportunity, like I could really help her. We could help each other. Crazy. Helping her would be something that my ego would love, because there's a platform right there. And the thing is, when I really dig deep on this, it's about what is my personal value. And the personal value here is I really want to protect my peace and harmony. I want to honor my value of putting myself and my family first and their safety. Because when someone feels safe, like my child, we get to flourish. And I'm in the business of raising humans because I'm a mum. I'm raising a human being. So their safety is absolute paramount. My family's safety, my dad and myself, it's absolute paramount. And looking at that, if I had said yes because I didn't want to sit with the discomfort of her discomfort, helping her because I was in a fear and scarcity mindset that could happen to me, would actually result in me abandoning my own self-worth and therefore my values. So my self-worth is very much tied to my personal values. And my personal values is freedom, connection, and authenticity. And that in itself would be abandoning those. It's crazy. And the more I sat with this, the more I realized how much of this old patterning comes up. And when I really deconstructed it, I started digging at it and I kept digging at it. And even as I was setting up for this podcast, it's like, what is it? It's because I felt special, because I felt seen, heard, and loved and validated. And that aspect can get us into some really sticky situations. It's happened so many times over and over again in my life recently, in the past. I'm 43 years old. There's lots of parallels to this. The fact that I felt special, and if I was to say yes to it because it made me feel special, it would be betraying myself. It would be abandoning my values. It would not be protecting my peace and harmony that I require to flourish and to raise a human being, because I am in the business of raising humans. To get out of this situation, I decided I wasn't going to justify, I wasn't going to lie, and I wasn't going to be the savior in this. And it's quite difficult as a people pleaser to do that. And my people pleaser in recovery part of my personality is always trying to validate my self-worth by doing that. And so I decided when I talked to her that it was going to be compassionate but firm. The more I said no, the harder it was pushed. And then it was around, I can help with paying your mortgage, I can offer childcare, I can clean. So the three things for a sole parent that would alleviate a lot of stress was delivered on a platter for me to then decide. It's funny that it presented itself in a way. It's like, do you want money? How are you going to earn money? Because I've always said it's not about how much you earn, it's the way you earn it. And this situation really, it's just one of many, but it's a very clear and transparent way to see how we can get caught into saying yes when we really want to say no. And we say no with love. I wish her well. And when I hung up, it was take care, because I really want her to take care of herself. And I am not the lifeline for her. She's her own lifeline. The more I stop band-aiding situations, the more I'm stopping myself from thieving their opportunity that has arisen for them to find their confidence and clarity to move forward with life, to find their own resilience in life, to start navigating their world in alignment with their values. That was a real aha moment today, which I think it all comes at a time when it's necessary. Just when you think that I've got this people-pleasing aspect of my personality nailed down, I've sorted it, I've healed it, it will come wrapped up in another way. It will manifest in a different form for you to then find the opportunity to exercise your learning. And it's about healing that aspect to yourself. So even though I'm sitting here with a little bit of a hurt ego because I had the opportunity to play savior, I had an opportunity to network, and also that I let somebody down, that their expectation wasn't met by my actions, that is okay, because we're all on our own unique journey. Yes, it's all one big co-creation. But if I had said yes and just completely disregarded my true personal value and my true want in action for this situation, I feel life just gets hard. Resistance comes up, obstacles come up, and then you get presented with it again. How do you handle that? Diamonds are made under pressure. So I kind of feel like I found my rough diamond. She's a bit shabby looking, but she's there. And it's the pressure that comes that you realize, it's just refining and it's just realigning. Part of me wishes that it got easier and that I could say no and rattle off a really cool statement to give her comfort, but to end the conversation and not need that second conversation. I'm not there yet, and I think that that's okay, and to give myself some grace and some compassion. And the funny thing that I felt was that I knew my answer straight away, and yet I had to wrestle with my intellectual brain. And this is why when it comes to learning anything, I love learning stuff, but then I also love unlearning it too, because everything that we learn has a limitation, especially when it comes to intellectual learning. It's about how do you clear that channel to your intuition that it's so loud that, that your channel into your intuitive, wiser self is so loud that it's undeniable, and that you have the confidence to take the action that's required to honor that wisdom. And that's the work that I really enjoy. It's trying to get that clarity on the wisdom. So it's clearing that channel, and then it's the confidence to fulfill the actions that's needed to strengthen and to fuel that wisdom and value and purpose. So how do we know when we're about to override our truest self? And this just takes practice, and it takes confidence as well. And I really do believe not committing. And my dad has this saying, one step back. I think I've spoken about it before, but when I was a teenager, I thought it was just old man stuff, saying that. He was my age now. And it's quite a wise thing to do. One step back. Just take one step back. How do you get your one step back? How do you give yourself some time and space to process it, to marinate it, and then make a decision? Because if you're being forced to make a decision right then and now, urgency is not intuition. If you're making a decision and you're thinking it's intuition, but there's a sense of urgency in it, it's probably not intuitive, wise choices or alignment. It's out of this sense of urgency. Usually it's out of fear avoidance as well, and avoiding the discomfort, avoiding the fear, or chasing after the desire, which the desire is actually fear avoidance. That's all we're doing. And the thing that I found the most useful is taking that one step back, is not committing, is taking a breath. Being kind to myself by needing that second phone call to really say what I wanted to say in a way that I wanted to say it. And listening, how to listen into your intuitive self. So the other question I asked myself was, if I had all the money in the world and all the time and all the resources and everything was abundant, would I still say yes? And the answer would still be no, because it went against my personal value of maintaining my peace and harmony, of maintaining safety for my family. And inviting that into my realm is just not in alignment with that. I've done some yesing in the past that has put me into some very precarious situations, and it's taken a lot to come out of that. I lost my integrity going into it. I'm not going to lose my integrity coming out of it. And that in itself is a very humbling situation. So it's the same lesson in or out, whatever the situation you're finding yourself in that you're trying to get out of, but it's the same lesson. And it's funny to watch these things pop up, because I say yes to jobs when I don't really want to. I say yes to things and to people when I really don't want to. And at the end of the day, if you're not living in alignment, your body will keep the score. Your nervous system will tell you. Your intuition will tell you. And then when you say yes to things that you want to say no to, that's how ailments come up. This is emotional anatomy now. So this is so, so important to understand. And if this was a bit deep and you didn't get it, totally understand, because I'm a little bit caffeinated at the moment. But find somewhere where you can understand, how do you get clear? How do you get confident? And getting clear and confident in your action taking is the key to life. And to do that, I find, and this is just my flavor, personal values. Is it aligned with personal values? And if I'm saying yes to it when I really want to say no to it, what's the payoff? I'm getting something out of it. What's the payoff? Oh, I feel special. Oh, I'm going to be the savior. Oh, I'm going to have this networking opportunity. Yes, even that. It keeps saying it and it still feels like shame. I see you, shame. And that's just individual makeup as well. So saying no and maintaining a boundary is what matters. And the boundaries are there to honor yourself. And what bypassing aspects do you do to obliterate your boundaries? And we can intellectualize it all we want. And the more aware you get, the more tools you have to intellectualize that bypassing. And there's terms around it like trauma bypassing or spiritual bypassing. It's about getting radically honest with yourself. That radical honesty of what you truly want and how you truly feel, regardless of the fears and the expectations and the desires and the payoffs. If you know what that stuff is and you know what's driving that, what's your radical, honest answer to the question or to the scenario or to the situation? So I have a little bit of a invitation for you. I want you to think about your current life, what's going on in it. Do you have multiple job opportunities? Do you have questions being asked of you and invitations for you to give your time and energy to? Maybe you're being called to give an answer to something. I invite you to ask yourself, can I take a pause on it? That's number one. And what is it you truly want? And how is this feeding your values? So my question to you is, what's coming up for you? And what was your first instinct? And did you notice that you start to intellectualize? Did you do a spreadsheet? Did you do a pros and cons column? The more that you try and override it with intellectualism, the more you're trying to justify and bypass what you truly want with your radical honesty. So this type of conversation needs to be had over and over and over again. It's like building muscle. The more we get comfortable with the, oh, I messed up there. I said yes and I didn't want to. And I can see what's going on for me. And saying no when we really want to say no to things. So if there's anything you want to screenshot this podcast if you want, send me a DM and say, hey, this is what I found. I'm really curious to hear how this presents in your life. And I'm really curious to hear what you noticed about what come up for you. So until next time, stay calm, stay curious and connected, and I will chat to you soon.